Of all the ruthless decrees in Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power, the 15th law, crush your enemy totally, stands as one of the most severe and absolute warning that any half measure in conflict is a dangerous and potentially fatal indulgence. Greene draws from historical precedents to argue that a wounded but surviving enemy will inevitably nurse their grievances, bide their time, and return for vengeance with greater ferocity and wisdom, ensuring the conflict perpetuates itself. Therefore, the only path to true and lasting victory is utter annihilation, not merely defeating them in battle, but dismantling their power base, destroying their resources, and eradicating their influence so completely that any hope of recovery is impossible. This law demands the total extinguishing of the enemy's spirit, will, and means to retaliate, creating a powerful and unambiguous example that serves as a deterrent to other potential adversaries. It is a stark rejection of mercy in the realm of power, framed not as cruelty for its own sake but as a brutal necessity for self-preservation. By leaving no pieces to pick up, you secure your own throne and ensure that the war concludes with your victory as the final, unchallenged word. Here is the 15th law of the power, crush your enemy totally, written in Robert Greene's book, The 48 Laws of Power. All great leaders since Moses have known that a feared enemy must be crushed completely. Sometimes they have learned this the hard way. If one ember is left alight, no matter how dimly it smolders, a fire will eventually break out. More is lost through stopping halfway than through total annihilation. The enemy will recover and will seek revenge. Crush him, not only in body but in spirit. Observance of the law. The great Empress Wu of China was ruthless in her rise to power. She started out as a concubine of an emperor but did not want to follow the traditional path, that of living the rest of her life in a convent after the emperor's death. She had seduced the emperor's son in the royal urinal and befriended his wife. Because of this, Wu was able to get a royal edict out of the convent. She returned to the harem, became pregnant, and murdered her own baby, knowing the prime suspect would be the jealous wife of the new emperor. The wife was charged with murder and executed. Wu took her place and her new husband handed over the reins of government to her, opting for a life of pleasure. Empress Wu ruled until the age of 80 when she was forced to abdicate. Throughout her rule, she eliminated son after son, anyone who would challenge her throne. Wisdom in a nutshell. Show no mercy. Crush your rivals or else you will give them time to regroup and plot their revenge. Banish enemies or plot for the best time to render them harmless. Leave your enemies no options. Sometimes enemies will destroy themselves. Thoughts of reconciliation will open you up to attack.